Hey traders, mindset reset. It's Free Cash Friday on the backside of the week, day 3, and we've had quite the week this week. And I want to congratulate traders on many things. Actually, several traders have had some very, very big weeks. Congratulations. We saw some textbook opportunities. Today, Free Cash Friday offered some great trades. And I'm going to answer a couple of questions first. I want to first just sort of step back and say to traders a couple things. There's still a few things to go into the master class. Obviously, this week we've had a busy week. I've had a couple of other videos. I'm going to also be updating the playbook with the higher time frame module. Thanks for your patience. I think a lot of traders have emailed and messaged me and said that this master class has really cemented the entire big picture together. Now, there's still some traders obviously tiptoeing their way through, but I think that they're seeing two things. One, the process, just stepping back and hunting out the best templates, the best setups. And number two, sticking with the simple rinse and repeat trade setups. No science projects. I'll repeat this. Hunting little, moves and sweeps and gaps and hunts and soups and all these things, to me, I have zero interest. In fact, I told Steven this morning, as I talked to my son, and we've been going through things this week, his basket is pretty narrow. And the basket is reflective of instruments that have produced those behaviors historically. And one of the comments I got, or I get all the time actually, is like, oh yeah, it looks great in hindsight. But that's the whole point. We're looking for the same reproducible setups that show up on several instruments, depending on which one you're hunting, again and again and again. And we're going to keep seeing them again and again and again. And that's the whole point, rinse and repeat. So one of the things that I've done with my son is basically his basket only has the instruments in it where we've found those patterns. And that's what I went through in the master class. There are only certain instruments that show those patterns. So one of the questions I got on Thursday regarding markets that closed in breakout, and I mentioned that there were other currency pairs that I did not post that I knew closed in breakout. But one of the reasons why is that they don't provide the volatility that I'm after. So I'm not really interested in trading them. And there are, there's going to be trades. And obviously when we get different months in terms of how price behaves, certain markets that don't offer as much volatility may offer a fantastic 5-star trade setup. We see that, all the time throughout the year, lower volatility instruments, or when a lower volatility major pair is not maybe trading or ranging much, it's one of its cross rates might actually offer a 5-star ACB trade setup. So, but in order to keep things really simple, all you have to do is skim through the charts. And I'm looking at daily time frames. I'll repeat this, everything out of the playbook. There's been so much watered down on minutia, people mixing concepts and everything. And all I'm talking about is just simple setups, rinse and repeat. I'm not trying to read minutia and pushes and bars and, all this crazy stuff. Show me a chart that looks like my setup. That's all I'm looking for every single day. There's certain setups I look for on a Tuesday. There's certain setups I look for on a Thursday. And there's certain setups I look for on a Friday. If I see setups like that on Monday and Wednesday, well, guess what? That's a bonus. That's all. It's that simple. And there are traders who say, oh yeah, if it was that simple, you'd be a billionaire. Well, no, not really, because all I'm trying to do is consistently keep scaling. And when I get monkey hammers, yeah, I'm going to load the boat. But that doesn't mean that all of a sudden you make a $10 million day or, you're a billionaire. All I'm doing is rinse and repeating every week, and I scale those trades up in size. That's it. And you know what? It doesn't take long for that to snowball to have significant value on your trades. Measuring little minutiae and gaps and inversions and soups and all these little things, to me, are not scalable. They're not reproducible. And I have zero interest in trying to find it on a 1-minute chart on a low volatility currency pair. That's the whole point. I know instruments that are going to reproduce the same behaviors over and over again. And my friend Steven, the Shaolin of reversals, as I call him, because this guy is so regimented. And it takes a daily effort to do that, to pound it into your psychology. And as the more I work with my son, the more I've stepped back. Like, I don't even really want to look at a lot of the currency pairs. I'm only looking at certain pairs, certain instruments. Obviously, the yen cross pairs are volatile. The pound cross pairs can offer some excellent opportunities. A couple of the euro cross rates. But, historically, I'm focused on gold, the metals. So let's look at it this way. You've got a little basket of currencies. Out of that basket, I'm looking for one opportunity. Out of the metals, I'm looking for one of those to show me the setup, if indeed any of them do. I'm not trying to trade all of them. I'm looking for the one out of those three that shows me a setup. Then the indexes, the same thing. I'm not looking to trade all of them. I'm looking for which one shows me the setup I resonate with the best. That's it. Energies, I'm looking primarily for one setup on the energies. That's it. I really rarely trade oil or natural gas, and I'm looking for the ACB templates on those, and that's it. I really don't care about catching the high. I'm not worried about catching the low. I'm not worried about, whatever. I'm looking for one template on those pairs. That's it. So when people are marking up charts and sending me all this stuff, it's like, I don't know what to tell them. Which setup are you hunting? That's this. I repeat that question because if I keep saying it over and over again to traders, part of it, I know what setup I'm looking for on the yen cross pairs. I know what setup I'm looking for on the indexes, and I know what setup I'm hunting on gold. I've got one for nail and bales, and I got one for monkey hammer. That's it. I don't care what it does otherwise, because I just can't comprehend trying to figure out where I can get a trade every day. I just go next. And I know I'm going to get 2 or 3 a week. And when we get the monkey hammer, I'll wire funds in and hammer into that and ride the train home. That's it. We got an ACB. I'm going to ride the train if it's in the US window. That's where you make month money. And that's how I've trained myself to work. I don't want stress. I don't want thinking. I don't want emotion. And I don't want a lot of trade management. Like today's trade on the DJ. Now, I joked with Steven, there'll be people trying to buy the low today on the market because it's broken the low of day level. It's Friday. I said this. It's Friday, not Thursday, not Tuesday. This market is going to trap people trying to cherry pick and fall through the floor. And that was easy money after major red news, 100 pips in 5 minutes. So here's the thing, 100 pips in 5 minutes as opposed to sitting on something for an hour to get 20 on a currency pair. That's my rationale. Why would I want to do that? Even if both trades are 90-10, I don't want to sit on a currency pair for 20 pips. I would rather sit on the index when it's going to fall through the floor. And as it falls, I've already got my target in place, which was the lows from to the left, the hindsight lows, the daily levels. Everything comes from the higher time frame. You have to get ruthless with wanting to succeed. Ruthless with wanting to succeed. Ruthless on yourself, your behavior, your mindset. I don't want to take losing trades. And people joke, they ask me that all the time, show us your losers. Don't take losing trades. Trade winning setups. When those wires get together in your brain and it makes sense, you will stop trying to take trades and read markets. Which one shows me the 90-10 template that I can't lose on? Which is where the masterclass came from, because I showed my son one setup. One setup, long or short, doesn't matter. It's the same template flipped upside down. And that is all he is looking for. Now, of course, he may, over time, learn a couple of other 90-10 setups. But the best part about the ACB is entry, stop loss, walk away, because it goes to the close of the day. And I had some people message me and say, that's impossible. That doesn't happen. That's, you're just posting. Well, how come I can post the exact same criteria for how that trade sets up on any of the basket of instruments that historically has given me that trade before? If it's done it before, chances are it might do it again, because markets reflect the behavior of the people, the large players that trade them. The same things recycle over and over and over again. Me reading tea leaves and pushes and gaps and inversions and soups is not reproducible consistently. It's not scalable, especially when I'm doing a little 1 minute chart. That's craziness for me. I look at that and I would laugh at myself. If I was observing myself trying to trade that, I would laugh at myself, because I know that if my end result is over here where I want to get to, that is not going to deliver the end result. But the ACB trades will. And I told Stephen, I don't even want to take a trade. My minimum projected risk reward mechanical setup has to offer me 100 pips or more minimum. Peter Brandt will not take a trade unless he can get $2,000 per contract on that trade. He's on longer time frames. Okay, so think about that. That means he needs roughly 200 points on his futures contract as a projected target minimum for him to take that trade. And that's my rationale now. I want to be in the trade that's going to offer me a minimum of 100 pips, whether that's on an index, a metal, a currency, an energy. So if it's a currency, which ones historically will offer me that type of volatility? Well, yen cross pairs will. Sometimes some of the other instruments will set up from extremes and offer 100 pips. And we saw that in the masterclass. So me sitting around trying to follow all the markets is not my objective. I know exactly what I'm looking for on certain days on certain instruments. That's it. And I don't really like my friend Steven, he doesn't waste his time. He can look at a market and he might do a smaller time frame trade that meets his exact criteria, the same as the higher time frame trade. And he'll nail and bail and be one and done and get on with his day. He'll come back tomorrow and look for the exact same rinse and repeat setup over and over again. His setup is the same setup over and over and over again on any time frame. And that's it. That is it. And that's basically all the masterclass was the one repeating setup. And several traders yesterday and today executed versions of that based on closing price on the indexes. And zero stress, zero thinking, zero emotion, for the most part, zero management. Closing out the week. So that's how my thought process is. I'm always, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself because I'm telling you what's in my head. In order for you to succeed, what is the end result that you're after? Does your current method of trading meet up with where you want to go? And if it doesn't, you have to tweak and modify and step back and figure out how I'm going to get from A to B. Trying to read little markets every day is somebody who's desperate to replace a daily paycheck. That's not my objective. And I'm not minimizing that. What I'm suggesting to you is think bigger than that. Think bigger of yourself and your capabilities. Because what you have in front of you, the information that's here, delivers way more than that. Way more than that. We're talking, this is scalable. You can scale this up as big as you want. I don't care. Because once those templates set up, the ACB templates, sorry, but they're not coming back. And those are greater than 10 to 1. Indexes, metals, they're well over 10 to 1. Well over 10 to 1. And of course, natural gas and oil, when they set up like natural gas did on the front side of the week, Tuesday, I can't even remember. It went on to do a day 2 as well. So that's what I'm after. That's all I'm looking for. Everything underneath of that just puts me more in a, okay, well, I can hit a nail and bail on gold, but the minimum typically on gold is going to be 100 pips. Yesterday it was 200, straight through the floor. Now, I don't trade them all the same size because each setup is going to, require a different type of risk reward opportunity. So we get an ACB, I'm scaling in heavy. Other trades, I'm just going to take the money and run. Lunch money. Month money, lunch money, year money. That's how I look at it. And, in the process, Stephen and I joke, beat yourself up in between so you're mentally exhausted and fatigued and you don't engage in self-sabotaging, degenerate gambling, emotional, irrational, impulsive impatience, and just general degenerate behavior that is self-sabotaging. Because that's why most traders will fail. That's why most traders will fail. And if you really, really want to sort of keep growing things, focus on what types of trades you're taking and are they going to get you to the end result? Which is why I keep saying I'm not interested in catching highs and catching lows. Where's the setup, the actual setup that rinses and repeats from the playbook or the masterclass? That's it. That's it. 3-session setups, 3-day setups. The ACB template on Wednesday is a 3-day setup. That's what that is. It's a 3-day setup. And some traders absolutely knocked it out of the park. That was month money for them on Wednesday. So congratulations again. Okay, we've had a massive week. I'm going to get a technical video up. I'm going to be adding to the masterclass. I'm going to be adding to the playbook. I want this to be your best year ever in every single way possible. 1% better every single day means that in every aspect, every area. Keep it going, keep it growing. Have the best weekend. Enjoy, pat yourself on the back. Even if you had a bad week, guess what? Next week you can do one great trade and all of a sudden you're back on track. And then you need to stay on track. Like my friend Steven says, stick to the script. Stick to the script. Plug everything else out. Everyone else's chatter, verbal diarrhea, other furus, mental clutter, and jibber jabber. That's all in your head. Okay? My friend Steven does one thing. He does one thing. And nobody can stop him. Guess what? Nobody can stop him. No furus, jibber jabber, 1-minute charts and pushes and gaps and sweeps. He hits the trade. He locks in the profits and he walks away. He comes back tomorrow and rinses and repeats. That's how it's done. He's the consummate professional. He sets the bar here. He keeps me accountable. He keeps helping me elevate my own skills and getting better every single day. And that's what all people driven and focused should be doing, is lifting everybody else up with them. Okay, so step back, look at the bigger picture, stick to the setups that rinse and repeat, that you resonate and trade the best. And don't do anything else in between. Have a great weekend, traders, and may the markets go with you.